All right. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, and welcome to this online class. I welcome you all, and I am happy you are here. I know you are so excited, and you cannot wait for us to start off immediately. I am equally excited because I can't wait to share. Okay, I can't wait to share this knowledge I have with you that would help you in your cake business. That will help you bake cakes that are great, cakes that are awesome, cakes that would last their shelf life without spoiling. Okay, I welcome you. I hope you are having a nice day wherever you are joining me from. I hope you are having a fabulous day, and I equally hope that your cake business is booming. I hope you are growing your cake business, all right? Because whatever you have passion for, your passion for that particular thing would keep moving you forward, would keep nudging you on to make sure that that particular thing you have passion for keeps growing. And what you have passion for is cake business? If you are passionate about your cake business, you wouldn't want anything to spoil that for you. You wouldn't want anything to spoil your business for you. Not a spoiled cake, not a situation of a spoiled cake. Okay? Because if you are in business and your clients, your customers are always complaining that their cake spoils, that the cake you delivered got spoiled, okay, even before they got to use it for the event, you wouldn't be happy. Your clients wouldn't be happy either. You would end up losing clients. And if you're in business and you're losing clients, then the business is not growing. You are not making profit because you might end up refunding money to your clients who are, complaining. You might end up trying to compensate them. And if you keep doing that, you are running a loss. But today in this class, I am going to share with you 12 reasons why your cakes spoil before their shelf life. 12 reasons why your cakes spoil before time. You bake a cake today that is supposed to last maybe like 3 to 4 days before spoiling. In the next 24 hours, you get the feedback that the cake has gone stale, that the cake has spoiled, and you keep wondering what caused it. You wouldn't know what you did wrong. You wouldn't know what the client did wrong. But in a nutshell, the cake spoiled. That is the bottom line of it. The cake spoiled. You wouldn't be happy. Your clients wouldn't be happy. But in today's class, by the time we are through, you would be getting a lot from this class. There is a lot of benefit to gain from this class. And make sure you stay till the end, because at the end, I am going to announce a special bonus, a bonus offer that would benefit you if you stay till the end of this class. In this online class, I'm going to be using presentation slides. I'm going to equally be using pictures, illustrations. I would also use feedback and testimonial from some of my students, okay? So sit back, make sure you have your writing paper and your pen to take down notes where necessary, all right? Let's set the ball rolling. Let's just dive in. So right now I'm going to share my slides so that I will start off immediately. Once again, you are welcome. Okay. All right, here we are. Share. Okay, once again, I welcome you to today's online class titled 12 Reasons Your Cakes Spoil Before Time, and the things you should know. The things you should know that would help you avoid your cake spoiling before their shelf life. All right, let's just dive in. So I welcome you. And before we go on, before we start, before we kick off, I would want you to turn off all forms of distractions. Make sure you stay in a less noisy place so you can hear me loud and clear. Because if you are distracted, you might miss out on a very important information. So shut down every distraction, shut down any form of distraction. Make sure you stay in a less noisy place so you can hear me loud and clear. Get your writing pad and pen. You might need to take down notes, important notes where necessary. And I would want you to pick important points from this class. And whatever you learn, Share it on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your Insta stories. And please do mention Bake and Beat. Mention at Bake and Beat. If you're sharing it on your Instagram Insta stories or your Instagram page, profile page, make sure you tag or mention at Bake and Beat so that I will know you really attended this class. A lot of people showed interest in this class. And I know that almost all of you are here taking this lesson. Do share what you have learned because there is love in sharing, okay? So if you have comments or you have questions, you can email me your comments and questions. Send your questions and your comments to bakeandbeats15@gmail.com. You can equally send me a direct message on my Instagram page or inbox me on my Facebook page if you are closer to your Facebook account. All right, make sure you stay to the end of this class because I have a special offer to announce which will benefit you in your cake baking career. Okay, let's move on. I'll tell you a little bit about me just in case if you don't know me, if you've not heard of me before, or you're not following my Facebook page or my Instagram page, you're not following my lessons that I send through my emails. If you're not on my email list and you don't receive my series of inspirational and educational emails, now I will tell you a little about me. My name is Miria McRaymond Ojola. I am the owner of Bake and Beat and equally the founder of Bake and Beat Academy. I am a cake artist and an instructor. So far, I have trained over 150 women in cake baking and decoration, sugar craft, and pastries. I have also trained a lot of bakers in profitable cake pricing and helping them put their prices straight in such a way that they will be having profit in their cake business. I've also helped thousands of bakers in solving their cake baking and decoration problems through emails, social media posts, and free live classes like the one we are having right now on my social media handles. I create online courses in cake baking, decorations, cake pricing, pastries, and other related topics. I am a cake recipe formulator. I am a mother of two, and equally, I am a wife. All right, so let's dive in. But before we go ahead, I want to ask you this question. How does it make you feel when you are told that the cake spoiled, like you delivered a cake to your client, and in less than 24 hours, you get a call from your client telling you that the cake got spoiled. In fact, that the guests at the party threw away the cakes they were served because the cake was gummy. It had something like cobwebs inside it. Like when you open it, it starts dragging. It had a rubbery texture. Okay, how would you feel? How does it make you feel if you took time? You spent time. It's like a waste of resources. You took time to bake this cake. You took time to decorate it. Maybe even decorated the cake all night. You took all night. You had sleepless nights decorating this cake, only for you to be told that the cake spoiled in less than 24 hours. How would that make you feel? I know no baker will be happy about it. No business owner will be happy about it to get a negative feedback. And when it happens, not once, not twice, you know that something is wrong somewhere. You know that there is something that is not right. There is something that you are not doing right. Okay? It doesn't make anybody feel good. It doesn't make anybody, you're already noticing it. You're already noticing it that it is becoming too mushy, it's becoming too soggy. And you still decorate that cake and deliver. Why wouldn't it spoil? Why wouldn't it spoil? Okay, my kids, they go for birthday parties and they come back telling me, oh, mommy, this cake is not good, this cake is bad, it's already, it's already stretchy, it's already dragging, it's already gummy, it's not bad. They will just trash it. Imagine that you are in a party where you delivered a cake and you attended the party equally. When the cake is being served, the guests at the party start throwing the cake away. Some will throw their cakes under their chair. Some will just drop it on the table. How would you feel? You know, when you are a baker, when you are the one that bakes a cake and you are at a party, you would want to know what the guests think about your cake. You want to see them enjoy your cake and say, wow, this cake is so tasty. But when the reverse is the case, that you see them dropping the cake on the table like it doesn't make sense, like it has spoiled, the cake is not good, it doesn't taste good, it smells awful, and they throw the cake away, maybe under their seat, how would that make you feel? It is better avoided. It is better avoided than experienced. That is why I put up this lesson to help you. It is quite disheartening for clients to pay money, huge amount of money, to get a great cake, but what they receive is a rotten cake instead. It will be very, very disheartening. The client will be very, very disappointed. It might equally spoil the day, the event for the client. It is also disheartening for the baker who put in all effort to deliver a great cake, but got insults and may have to do a refund and also lose a client in the long run. Even potential clients, you lose potential clients. When you make effort to deliver a cake and before you know it, you'll be waiting for a great feedback and the client is hurling insults at you. Why? Because the cake spoiled, because the cake developed a kind of awful taste, because the cake started smelling bad, and the client will be asking for a refund. Do you think that client is coming back to order a cake from you? Do you think that client is going to tell other potential clients that your cake is good? Do you think the client would refer anybody to you? It will be, that's like bringing your business down. Okay? It is equally quite disheartening for the guests who are supposed to eat a tasty cake, a delicious cake, to be forced to have a taste of food poison that may harm their system. Because cake is a food item, and when it has gone bad, it can cause food poisoning, which can harm the systems, the digestive system of your guests, of the guests at that event where you deliver the cake. So we really need to be very careful how we handle our cakes. We really, really need to be careful. What are the objectives of this masterclass? The reason why I put up this class is to open your eyes to what you may be doing wrong that makes your cakes to spoil before time, to teach you some of the causes of cake spoilage. You may not know them, okay? You might think they are trivial, but they are really the causes of cake spoilage before time, actually, because cake is a food item and any food item will spoil when it reaches its shelf life. It is equally to encourage you not to give up on your dreams. Maybe you have tried it the first time, the second time, the third time, and you are still receiving the same bad feedback, the same bad review, the same bad result. Your clients keep complaining about the awful taste, about the awful smell, about the strange taste in your cake, about cake spoilage. All the time your clients keep complaining. And this is making you want to give up, like, I don't want to do this again. This is not my calling. I don't want to be in cake business anymore. I can't be experiencing this wastage all the time. I want to encourage you not to give up. There is still hope. There is still hope. There is still a light dazzling at the end of that dark tunnel. Your case can still be redeemed. There is a solution. Okay? Every problem has a solution. It is equally to let you know that you can learn the right way to bake cakes that will stay fresh within their shelf life. Maybe there is something you are doing wrong. Maybe you are not using the right techniques, you're not following the right procedure, and you keep repeating what you are doing over and over again because you don't really know the cause of your problem. But by the end of this class, if you are eager, you can learn the right way to bake cakes that will stay fresh within their shelf life. Okay, so this class will benefit you. What I'm going to discuss here will benefit you if you are passionate about serving your clients with the best cakes ever. That is what I always want, to deliver cakes to my clients and they can't get over the awesome taste. To deliver a cake to my clients and I wouldn't even need to ask them, how was it? You know, what was the taste like? I wouldn't need to ask them. They keep sending their feedback to me and they keep getting excited over and over again about the cake I deliver. If you are passionate about serving your clients the best cakes ever, then this class will benefit you. If you cannot bear the shame of being tagged the one who baked that cake that spoiled, okay? Because if you have delivered a cake to anybody and the cake spoiled, whenever that person sees you, whenever that client sees you, that incident would, the person will remember that incident. It will occur in the person's memory. How the cake spoiled, how awful it tasted. And if the person was with another person there, they might end up discussing you might end up becoming their topic of discussion for that day. Can you imagine? I ordered a cake of so and so amount only for the cake to spoil, and look at the person that baked that cake that spoiled. Okay, if you cannot bear the shame of always being tagged the one who baked that awful cake, that cake that was smelling, that cake that tasted awful, then this class would really be of a huge benefit to you. If you always encounter cake baking problems that makes your cakes spoil, if you encounter cake baking problems that make your cakes to go stale before time, and it is giving you headache, it is giving you sleepless nights, you are worrying about it, you are dying in silence, you're not even telling anybody, this cake will benefit you. If you have little or no knowledge about cake baking, this class, will benefit you. If you have little or no knowledge about cake baking, but you are zealous to know more, this class will benefit you. If you want to learn about cake baking, you will benefit a lot from this class. If you seriously need to learn how to bake perfect cakes from scratch, a lot of bakers just jumped into cake baking without really knowing the foundation of cake baking, without knowing about ingredients, their functions, and how they work, how they react with each other. Okay? If you don't have that foundation, you will be benefiting from this class if you stay till the end. If you really love learning online, fine and good. You are welcome. This class will benefit you because not everybody likes learning online. Not everybody knows where to go, what to click on. Okay? If you are sent a link and say, click on this link or click here to view this, not everybody knows how to find their way around online things. But if you are good at that, then this class will equally benefit you. However, it will be a waste of your time if you do not understand how fulfilling and rewarding it is to receive great feedback and even extra tips for a job well done. I've delivered some cakes that I didn't even need to ask for feedback. All I saw was an extra amount paid into my account just because the client was overly satisfied with the job inside out. Okay, if you don't know how, if you have not experienced that before, you might be managing the situation. You might be managing the situation. Okay, if you don't enjoy being rewarded extra, being given extra, you didn't ask for it, you just receive extra thank you, you just receive gifts, you receive extra tips, you receive awesome feedback without even asking for it. This class will be a waste of your time if you don't understand that. If you keep managing your situation, you don't want to grow, you don't want to upgrade, you don't want to take a step further to take care of, to get the solution to your problems, this will be a waste of your time here. Okay? If you don't care how your clients feel about your cake, if you don't care whether they like it, you just deliver a cake and off you go. Maybe because they paid you a little amount, you are the one that charged that little amount and they paid. So it is your duty to deliver a great cake. But if you have this I don't care kind of attitude towards your clients and how they feel about your cake because they paid less amount, this class will not be of any help to you because you really don't care. So if you do not take your client's complaints serious, if a client complains about a little thing in your cake today and you wave it off, saying maybe the client is too troublesome, and tomorrow another person complains, you'd wave it off, you are not taking your client's complaints seriously because they are the ones bringing in the money to your business. They are the ones that will bring in referrals to your business. If you give a great service, if you give excellent customer service to your clients, they would come back. They will refer others to you. Okay, they will be your ambassadors. They will be your foot soldiers. They will keep marketing your product even in your absence. But if you do not take their complaints serious, then whatever I'm going to discuss here might not benefit you. Okay, if you are not ready to make positive changes towards the outcome of your baked cakes, if you are not ready to get solutions to your problems, it won't benefit you either. If you do not want to grow your business to a profitable level, if you do not want to be known as the big baker in your locality, wherever you are, if you don't want to grow a cake business, maybe it's a hobby for you, then this class will be a waste of your time. It's better you log off. Okay? But then, if you are in the category of the first set of people we discussed, then sit back. Let's set the ball rolling. And now we are going to be discussing the 12 reasons your cakes spoil before time. We're going to be taking them one point after another. Okay? These are the things you should know, the things you should equally avoid doing. Okay? So the first here, we'll be talking about food items, because you know that cake is a food item. All food items are expected to spoil, yes, and cake is a food item. So when it reaches its shelf life and exceeds the shelf life, it will spoil, it will go stale. There is nobody that would cook food and keep it on at room temperature. You keep it on a table or on your kitchen counter, keep it there for 24 hours, 48 hours, and you expect it to still remain the same. You expect it to still remain fresh, tasty, and mouth-watering. No, it is a food item. When it exceeds its shelf life, it gets stale. The same thing goes for cake. Cake is not an exception. Therefore, when a cake exceeds its shelf life, it goes stale. So when baking a cake, there are a lot of factors to be considered. There are a lot of things you should consider to avoid quick spoilage, to prevent your cake from spoiling before its shelf life. So those are the things we're going to be discussing, the reasons, the factors we're going to be discussing in this class. And the first is the condition of the ingredients used in baking that cake. When you get your ingredients ready, when you arrange your ingredients and you are ready to bake a cake, you might be ready to bake that cake, but your ingredients are not ready to be put together to bake a cake. Why? Because they might not be in great condition. They might not be in their best condition to give you the best result. Okay? What is the quality of the ingredient you want to use? What are the conditions of this ingredient? Are they fresh? Are you using fresh ingredients to bake this cake? Are you using low quality ingredients to bake this cake? Okay? Because when low quality and old ingredients are used for cakes, the cakes tend to spoil quickly. For example, when you use rancid butter or butter that is almost going rancid, you just want to manage it. Or when you use stale flour, eggs that are no longer fresh. And when you're baking your cakes, do you use fresh eggs or you just use any egg you see? How sure are you that those eggs are really fresh? Okay, do you use ingredients that are foul smelling? Okay, ingredients that may have picked bad odor from items around them. Where do you keep your margarine? Where do you keep your butter? How do you store your ingredients? Because if you store your ingredients around other products that have bad odor or foul smell, okay, these ingredients will pick up those bad odor and foul smell, which would equally hasten their going stale on time. And by the time you use these ingredients to bake, the same will happen to your cake, because what you put in is what you will get out of it. It's like garbage in, garbage out. Okay, you would not use old eggs and you expect your cakes to stay fresh till its shelf life is exceeded. Okay, you wouldn't. I've had this situation where a baker was complaining about her margarine that started developing muco whitish mucor on it. So if your margarine or your butter is actually developing mucor, what do you think? Maybe you didn't store it well. Maybe you didn't handle it well. That means that bacteria activity is already taking place on that product. Microbes are already attacking that product. And when you use this particular product to bake, you transfer the same to your cake. Okay? You transfer the same. Don't think that heat will kill all the microbes. The fact that the ingredient is no longer fresh would affect the shelf life of your cake. So the condition of the ingredients used in baking a cake will determine whether the cake will stay and exceed its shelf life or whether it will spoil before the shelf life is even reached. Okay, so the first reason is the condition of the ingredients used in baking that cake. The second reason is the amount of liquid content used in baking the cake. This is important because at room temperature, microbes tend to attack food items with more liquid content than those with less liquid content. When you are baking a cake now, and let's say you are baking the first cake and the cake has eggs, water. Some people bake with water. The cake has eggs, water, and you equally have maybe whole milk, liquid milk in it. And you bake another cake that has just egg as its liquid content. Which one do you think will spoil quickly? It is the one with the higher amount of liquid content. It will go stale quickly before the one with the lesser amount of liquid content. Okay, so the higher the amount of liquid content in a cake, the higher the rate of its spoilage. The higher the rate at which the cake will go stale. The higher the amount of the liquid content, the higher the rate at which the cake will go stale. So when you are baking your cake, consider the liquid content. And if you are going to use a high amount of liquid content, make sure you put every factor into consideration regarding the storage so that the cake will be used before its shelf life gets exceeded. Okay? You wouldn't bake a cake that has a very short shelf life and you are still trying to decorate it and you're already getting closer to the shelf life. You wouldn't want to do that. That is why different cakes call for different types of frosting. Different cakes call for different types of icing. There are cakes that are good with fondant. There are cakes that are good with whipped cream. There are cakes that are good with butter icing. You don't just use any cake for any kind of icing. These are the things you should put into consideration. You wouldn't use a cake that is good with whipped cream or butter icing because it will take a shorter time to decorate and you deliver it and you get eaten still within the shelf life and you use it for a fondant cake when you know that it will take you longer time to decorate that fondant cake. And by the time you are done, you are almost nearing the shelf life of that cake. And when it gets delivered, the cake has gone stale already. That is when your client will start complaining. Okay? So cakes with less liquid content has longer shelf life. They last long at room temperature, longer than those with more liquid content, especially when baked with liquid milk. Okay? I have a recipe, quite all right. Cakes with higher amount of liquid content will spoil faster. But I have this recipe of mine that contains liquid milk in it in large amount. But this recipe stays for 5 days without going stale. It all boils down to how you handle your cake. And mind you, I did not add any preservative. My recipes don't have preservative in it. Okay, so on its own, no iota of preservative. It stays for 5 days without spoiling. So after 5 days, it can go stale. Okay, and it contains liquid milk. So it boils down to how you handle your cake. It boils down to what we discussed, the first point, the ingredients, the freshness of your ingredients, the quality of the ingredients you use. Okay, so all these things, it can be taken care of if you really know what you are doing. The third point is the condition of a cake before it was pulled out of the oven. Sometimes you might be in a hurry, you might think your cake is done. 100% done, but the cake is not properly baked. It is not ready to come out of the oven yet. And because you are in a hurry to pull out this cake, maybe it's an emergency order and you want to just decorate it immediately and deliver, you are in a rush. You end up bringing out the cake from the oven. Meanwhile, it is not properly done. Meanwhile, the sides may have baked well, but the center has not baked completely, is not properly done. Okay? You see, it tends to spoil. This kind of cakes tend to spoil easily. This kind of cakes tend to spoil before their shelf life because you didn't give the cake enough time to bake. You didn't give the cake enough time to bake. You didn't give it enough time to complete the baking procedure. Okay? And when it is not properly baked, there will be too much moisture at the center of this cake. And when there is too much moisture at the center of this cake, it develops a soggy center in such a way that the center will be looking like mashed potatoes. The center will be looking like you just mashed the cake and pressed it together and pressed it back inside the center. Meanwhile, the sides will be properly baked and the center is not baked. So if you pull out a cake from the oven before it is completely done, there is a tendency that the moisture at the center will promote the growth of microbes. The activities of microbes would increase. Okay, microbes would attack this cake easily and faster because of the accumulation of moisture at the center, because you didn't allow the cake, you didn't give the cake ample time to bake very well before you bring it out of the oven. Okay, so allow your cakes ample time to bake very well so that it doesn't develop a soggy center. The fourth reason is the cooling procedure. How do you cool your cakes? How do you cool your cakes? I've seen several pictures online where cakes are cooled on the table, on the work surface, on a baking pan. I've seen some cool their cakes completely inside a baking pan. Okay, what actually is the essence of cooling? You think it's not necessary to allow your cakes to cool properly? There is a reason why you should allow your cakes cool very well. You should allow your cakes time to cool completely before you start decorating it, before you start using it. Okay? The proper way of cooling a cake is when you are done baking your cake and you allow it settle in the pan for a while. The next thing you should do is turn it out on a cooling rack to allow complete circulation of air around it. The purpose of cooling is to allow excess steam that is inside your cake to escape. Okay, when this steam escapes, the air around the cake it keeps circulating. Because your cake is sitting on a cooling rack, this cooling rack allows complete circulation of air around your cake. And when the air around your cake is cooler, it enables the steam inside your cake to escape. Okay, and when there's an exchange, the cool air will be getting your cake cooled down. The excess steam will be escaping from your cake. And by the time your cake is done cooling, it is not ready for you to wrap it up or use it, whatever you want to do with it. Okay? This prevents accumulation of excess steam inside the cake. When you cool your cake properly, it prevents accumulation of excess steam inside the cake. But when you do not allow your cakes to cool the normal way on a cooling rack, there may be accumulation of excess steam inside your cake. And when this steam gets accumulated, it gets reconverted. Instead of escaping, it gets reconverted into moisture. The moisture content in your cake would increase. And when the moisture content in your cake increases, it leads to increase in the activities of microbes. Because wherever there is moisture, it is a breeding ground. It serves as a breeding ground for microbial activities. And when microbial activities increases, it would lead to your cake going stale on time. Okay? So cooling procedure, your cooling procedure, the way you cool your cakes will determine whether your cake would last long or not. All right? whether you have too much moisture accumulating inside your cake because you didn't use a cooling rack, or you didn't cool it on a cooling rack, or you cooled it completely inside, you forgot it inside your baking pan, or you left it on the table to cool. Okay, so these are some of the reasons why your cakes will go stale on time. Allow your cakes ample time to cool properly on a cooling rack. That is just what this picture is all about. Okay, the fifth reason is storage. How do you store your cakes after cooling? How do you store your cakes? Improper storage of cakes can lead to spoilage. If you do not store your cakes well, I'm not talking about preservative. I'm not talking about preservative. Okay? If you do not store your cakes well, you might end up having cakes that will spoil before their shelf life. If you just wrap up a cake that has not cooled properly, if you wrap up a cake that is hot and you still keep it on your work table, okay? Remember what we discussed in the last point, accumulation of steam will lead to increase of moisture inside your cake. And when there is too much moisture, it serves as a breeding ground for microbial activities. So if you wrap up a cake that has not cooled properly, you are increasing the probability, the possibility of having too much steam accumulate inside your cake. So the best way to preserve your cake, to store your cake, is to wrap it with cling film and store it in the freezer, pending when you are ready to use it. Okay? Improper storage can lead to cake spoilage, especially when you wrap up a hot cake, a cake that's not cooled properly. You will be giving it chance to accumulate steam inside, which increases moisture content. Another point we're going to be discussing, I hope you are taking down notes. I hope you are following me, all right? I hope you are taking down notes. Okay, the sixth point we'll be discussing is temperature. Temperature. This is one of the factors that causes cake spoilage. Temperature. Some cakes can last long at room temperature without any form of preservative, while others cannot stand warm temperature for more than 24 hours. Okay? You might bake a cake and leave it at room temperature now. The cake will stay 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, counting, and it has not spoiled. It has not even shown any sign of going stale. And you might bake another cake and keep it for 24 hours, and that is the end of it. This has actually happened to me. I baked a cake that I was I didn't want to share this cake with anybody. I baked this cake at home. I was ready to devour this cake. I kept it in my kitchen on my work table. I forgot the cake. I just took a slice out of it, ate it, and said, okay, I'll come back and finish the rest. Let me relax. Okay, when I finish what I'm doing, I'll come relax and then enjoy the cake. I forgot the cake. The next day I came back, the cake has gone stale. Okay, because I left it at room temperature for just 24 hours. There are some cakes that cannot stand warm temperature. That is why if you, in some cake shops, you see cakes kept in the chiller. You see cakes kept in the refrigerator. Okay, because those cakes might not last long when left at room temperature. Okay, and there are some that you leave them 4 days, they are okay, they are fresh, they are still fluffy, enough moisture, and there is no sign of the cake going stale, and it doesn't have any iota of preservative in it. Imagine delivering a cake. For instance, you delivered a wedding cake. After setting up the cake, and the reception, so to speak, is supposed to be an outdoor event. So after setting up the cake outside, and the weather that day happens to be so hot, the sun is so scorching, and the cake is there under the scorching sun, absorbing the heat from the sun, for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, the cake is still there. And by the time the event is over, the cake is dismantled and put in the trunk of a car. Another source of heat. The cake is subjected to so much heat over time. Even if the cake is fruit cake, even if the cake is fruit cake that has, dried mixed fruit soaked in brandy for God knows how long, okay, the cake might go stale because it has been subjected to high temperature, okay, because it's as if the cake is baking again. So when the temperature is too high, it can equally make the cake to start developing signs of spoilage, okay? So high temperature affects the shelf life of your cake. That is why you see some items you'll be told to store in a cool, dry place. That is to avoid spoilage. That is to avoid that item going stale. So equally, you should keep your cakes in a cool, dry place. Don't go set it under a scorching sun and you expect it to remain the same. Those are the things you equally need to tell your clients when you deliver your cakes. Okay? So if you don't do your own part, the client doesn't know how to handle such. If the cake spoils, the client will come back to you and you would be to blame because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. You didn't tell your client how to handle the cake, what to do and what not to do to avoid the cake spoiling. Okay? So temperature is part of the reason, is among the culprits that leads to cake spoilage, that leads to cakes going stale before their shelf life. The next item, the next point is decoration. Decoration is not just decoration, it's about decorating a cake that you did not cool very well, a cake that has not been properly cooled. Okay, when you decorate a cake that is still warm, maybe it's an emergency order or last minute order, you are rushing, you rush to bake it, you rush to cool it, you rush to decorate it, and the cake is still warm. Remember, when the cake is still warm and you've not cooled it properly, there will be accumulation of excess steam inside the cake. And when this happens, that is extra moisture. And when there is too much moisture in your cake, you know what that means. Increase in microbial activities. You see, it's like a chain reaction. If you don't get it right at the first stage, you go over to the second stage, you are still making the same mistake. So when you decorate a cake that is still warm, you are giving room for cake spoilage. The cake will tend to spoil. You are giving room for the cake to go stale because you didn't do your own part. You didn't allow your cakes to cool completely before decoration. So it's better to be late in delivering that cake than to be sorry that the cake you delivered got spoiled, that the cake you delivered, spoiled before it was even used. So allow your cakes to cool completely before decoration. If you decorate a cake that is still warm, you are giving room for cake spoilage. Better be late than sorry. Now, the next reason we'll be talking about is the type of filling used. The type of filling used in decorating your cake. Some dessert cakes, in some dessert cakes, you might have fresh fruits, you might have custard, you might have cappuccino fillings, different types of fillings. Okay, you might have strawberry jam, whatever, apricot jam in your cakes as a filling. And if you use these items, that might affect the shelf life of your cake, okay, and you are not taking precautions, it will lead to quick spoilage. It will lead to quick spoilage, especially when you have fresh fruits and fillings with dairy products. Okay, the type of filling you use in your cakes would determine whether your cake will last long or not if you don't handle it appropriately. Okay, if you don't take into consideration that this cake has so and so fillings inside, the cake might just end up spoiling before time. So these are the things you should consider. These are the things you should know. The things you should have at the back of your mind when you are using any item, when you are doing one thing or the other. Throughout the stages of handling this cake, you should always be mindful of all this. Okay? If you are adding fresh fruits to your cakes, remember they are still fresh. You cannot cut watermelon open now and allow it, and you expect it to be fresh the next day. If you cut watermelon open now, for example, and eat out of it today, you keep it on your work table or in your kitchen at room temperature. By the time you come back to that same watermelon the next day, it will no longer be firm the way it was yesterday. You would see that it will become soggy somehow. It will become softer than it was yesterday. So imagine having fresh fruits in your cake today, and you are giving it ample time. You are leaving it 24, 48 hours at room temperature. You wouldn't be expecting it to still be fresh. So the type of filling used while decorating a cake can contribute to its quick spoilage. Okay? Yeah, these are some of the fillings that I'm talking about. So what are the components of your cake fillings? What do you mix in? What do you mix into your buttercream to serve as fillings? What do you mix into whatever you are going to sandwich your cake with, your cake layers? What do you put in between them? Okay, whatever you put in between them might determine how your cake will last. Okay, so let's continue. The next reason why your cake spoil before time is the use of artificial emulsifiers. When you start baking, you will be encountering one problem or the other, and by the time you get to the cake shops to buy your cake items, you might, be talking about the problem you're experiencing, or you might want a solution, but you might not be talking to the right person that will give you the right solution. And you end up buying items, additives that you will add to your cakes that wouldn't even do you any good. By the time you buy artificial emulsifier, let me explain a little further. When you add eggs to your cakes, you know the function of eggs. Do you know the function of eggs in your cakes? First is a liquid content. Yes, it brings in some amount of liquid into your cake. Secondly, it acts as an emulsifier, which binds every other ingredient together. It brings every other ingredient together to make sure that it has a homogeneous mix, okay? To make sure that it is homogeneously combined. So when you go out buying artificial emulsifiers, something that will help the texture of your cake or help the outcome of your cake, you might end up buying an item and you don't even know the ingredients, the components of this emulsifier. You might not even know the company that made it, the brand, the composition, what are combined together to form this emulsifier. You just add it into your cake. You don't even know the health benefits. You just add it into your cake. You might end up having an item that will reduce the shelf life of your cake. It might give you the results you want, but it has an adverse effect, which may be reduction of the shelf life of your cake, which leads to your cake spoiling before time. The next reason is the use of artificial texturizers. When you buy texturizers in the market, it comes in different names. It comes in different names. I wouldn't want to mention any brand, but it comes in different names as texturizers. Okay? You might want to have a cake that has a melt in the mouth feel, and you don't know how to achieve this result without any additives. You go buying texturizers. By the time you add these texturizers to your cake, to your batter, it might give you the result maybe within the first day. The second day, your cake might just change in texture. Your cake might just change in texture. It might even harden, and you'll be wondering that you baked it, it was soft, but then after a few days, it's hard. Your client might be complaining that the cake you delivered is hard. And before you know it, the cake has spoiled. All these artificial additives can contribute to cake spoilage. It can make your cake to spoil on time, even before the shelf life, even before the client gets to use it. Another reason is when you use undefined quantities of unhealthy preservatives. There are so many variations of preservatives in the market. There are so many variations of cake preservatives, okay? Very unhealthy ones too. And now you want to use these preservatives because you want the cake to last for 1 week. I hear people asking, please, what can I do to my cake to last for a month? What can I do to my cake to last for 1 week? What can I do to my vanilla cake to last more than a month? What? It is a food item, and it's supposed to go stale when it reaches its shelf life. Artificial additives and unhealthy preservatives are not good. They will not do you any good. Now, when you want it to last longer, you now use a higher amount of these unhealthy preservatives. Instead of the preservative doing its work, it acts in reverse and it gives you a bad result. It makes your cake to spoil before time. Okay? So all these are what contributes to cake spoilage before their shelf life. Use of substandard recipes too, recipes that do not have well outlined measurements, can make your cakes to spoil before time. Recipes that do not have well outlined techniques, well outlined procedures. Maybe you don't even have a recipe at all. Maybe you just, learned that you can combine flour, sugar, butter, and egg together, add a little of baking powder, and boom, you have a cake. You don't have a procedure to follow. You don't have your own mode of operation. You don't have a standard, operating technique to follow. You don't have a procedure. You don't even measure accurately. Okay? You might just measure out an amount of flour now. Today you finish it. Tomorrow you will not finish it. Okay? You are not stable. You are not doing it right. You might bake today and you get it correct. Tomorrow you bake and it's all a waste of resources, a waste of time. The result you got yesterday, you cannot repeat it and get it today. Okay? When you are not consistent in what you are doing, you don't note, you don't have a record, you don't have a directory of what you are doing. Your recipes are not standard. Maybe it's just one recipe you really have, and the recipe is not giving you a great result, and you are still managing it. It is this one recipe that you serve day and night. It is this one recipe that you serve your clients all day long, every day, every time. Okay? And the recipe, you are managing it. You know the recipe, it's not giving you an awesome result. You are not, in fact, you are not feeling the recipe, and you are still managing it. You really need a change. You really need to think twice before you go ahead and use that recipe again. If you have clients that are seriously complaining about this recipe, you need a change if you want to grow in this cake business. You really need to drop some of the things you are doing that are not good to your cake business, that are spoiling the outcome of your baked cakes. You really need to have a change of mind. You need transformation. You need transformation. You need to take your cake baking skills to a higher level. And that is why I am eager to help you. That is why I am eager to teach you the secrets to baking perfect cakes. That is why I am eager to let you in on the step-by-step procedure involved in baking perfect cakes, in baking cakes that would come out awesome, cakes that will stay till their shelf life before going stale, cakes that will not spoil before their shelf life, cakes that will give you awesome results, amazing results, cakes that will be fluffy, moist, that will have the right amount of moisture, cakes that would have a melt in the mouth feel, cakes that would give you awesome reviews from your clients anytime, any day you deliver them, cakes that come in their different varieties. Okay? If you are willing, I am eager to teach you using different techniques, different ingredients, fresh ingredients. You would learn how to use fresh ingredients to bake your cakes. You would learn that it is not just about using color. It's not just about using brown color to color your batter and you call it chocolate cake, or using pink color to color your batter and you call it strawberry cake. It is not about color. It's about using the right ingredient for you to get the right result. Because if you add additives that are not necessary, you are the one causing your cake to spoil before time. You don't know the right thing to use. Look at this recipe. Look at this cake, sorry. This particular cake here, I baked this cake for a client. Okay, this cake here, the recipe has a large amount of liquid milk in it. It has a higher amount of liquid milk in it. I've already started scraping off the top before I remember to take a snapshot of it. Okay, I baked this cake on a Wednesday. The cake was supposed to be used on a Saturday. So I was working with this timing. I baked the cake on a Wednesday. I decorated it on a Thursday. And mind you, there is no iota of preservative inside this cake. So I baked it on a Wednesday, decorated on a Thursday, delivered it on a Friday for the clients to use on a Saturday. But the client ended up shifting the event to Sunday. So the cake was used on Sunday. By Monday, the feedback I got was that the cake was still fresh, the cake was still moist, and the cake was still fluffy. The cake I baked on Wednesday, stayed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That is 5 days at room temperature. It did not spoil. There was no sign of the cake going stale, and the client enjoyed it. That is what I'm telling you. That is what I'm talking about. When you have a standard recipe that would work for you, when you have a standard recipe, okay, it will not spoil before its shelf life, as long as it is handled the right way. But when you don't have a recipe, you bake anyhow, you handle your cakes anyhow, you just wake up and bake, no procedure, no technique, okay, why wouldn't your cake spoil? Why wouldn't your cake spoil? Let's look at this testimonial from one of my students who enrolled for Baking Perfect Cakes online course. Now, she enrolled in this course because she needed more standard recipes. Recipes that work, recipes that will wow her clients and keep them coming back. Okay, she said, "Good morning, ma'am. I hope you are having a beautiful day. So I want to thank you for your online class. I just saw your post on Instagram and I thought it's right to give my review. I have tried almost all the recipes and I must say they are very delicious. But you see, the chocolate cake, that one is the issue. I am not a chocolate fan, whether cake or candy, but I have fallen in love with this recipe, and my customers say the same as well. Thank you very much, Teacher Miriam. May God continue to bless your business and give you wisdom." Now, this is somebody that doesn't like anything chocolate at all, be it candy, be it cake, whatever that has chocolate in it, she doesn't like it. But by the time she baked with my rich chocolate cake recipe, she totally fell in love with it, and her clients equally fell in love with this cake, and they loved it. So maybe the recipe you have is not working for you. Maybe you don't like the recipe you have. By the time you get your hands on the recipe that I'm going to offer you, you will be singing a new song. You'll be experiencing a crazy good transformation in your cake baking business. Okay, now let's move forward. Another thing you may want to avoid, okay, that will be affecting your cakes are baking pitfalls, cake baking pitfalls. You may want to avoid all this because when you equally experience these problems, they contribute to the problems. They contribute to your cakes going stale. They contribute to your cakes having bad results. Okay, the first one is cakes with soggy center. Remember, we talked about having your cakes not properly baked. When you pull your cakes out of the oven, the center is still moist and the sides are well baked, but the center still has this mushy potato kind of texture in it. Okay, when you have, don't worry, you will see a picture. I'll show you a picture of what I'm talking about. When you have a cake with soggy center, it is a baking pitfall that would affect your cake. Now, when you equally have a cake that the center sank to the bottom, when you bake a cake and it's always sinking at the center, that is a problem. When you have a cake that is tasting raw, when your cake has a raw taste. I had a student who enrolled in my course, and when she enrolled, she told me, she narrated an incident that she went for a hands-on class. Okay, she went for a class and they baked a cake, and the cake was tasting awful. You can imagine a cake that was just baked in a class. You're tasting a fresh cake and it's still tasting raw. It has an awful taste. But by the time she baked with my own recipe of the same cake, she had a different result, a positive, awesome result altogether. That particular day, she had a party. She was just making videos and sending to me. Okay, so these are the things you should avoid. Another thing is having your cakes burn. Having burnt cakes will affect the outcome and taste of your cake. When your cakes are overly dry, they are always dry. You always have dry cakes, cakes that are falling apart, cakes that are crumbling. Also, when your cakes are hard, when the texture of your cake is always hard, that is something you should find a solution to. Okay, because no client wants to order a cake from you and the cake is hard as a stone. No client wants that. I attended a birthday party where a baker delivered this cake, and maybe because the celebrant knows I'm into cakes, so she called me to come and help with the cake cutting and sharing the guests. Okay, I was given a knife to cut this cake. I was trying to cut the cake. It was like a struggle. It was really a struggle to cut this cake. A cake that is supposed to be soft and moist was really hard and difficult to cut through. So you should try and avoid having your cakes bake so hard that it can't even cut through. It might come out soft, but by the time you're done with it, you would end up having a hard cake. Okay, these are the problems that would equally affect your cake baking business, your cake business. It's not only about the cake spoiling. No client wants to have a hard cake. No client wants to pay for a dry cake. No client wants to pay for burnt, raw tasting cakes, or even have a cake that you will cut through it, you see a cave inside. Because when you have a cake with a sunken center or with a soggy center, it is like a cave inside the cake. By the time you keep leveling and leveling, you end up having nothing. The height of the cake will be so low. It will be so small. So in a bid to try to maintain the height of the cake, you end up filling up the center of the cake with buttercream or whatever. You patch up the cake. And by the time your client cuts through it, the cave will be exposed. That cave you are trying to hide will be exposed. Instead of having a straight line in between the two layers of the cakes, you'll be having a circle or a semicircle patched up with so many things. Some will patch up with cake crumbs, some will patch up with buttercream. It's not professional. It's very, very unprofessional for you to do that. Okay? And it would affect the way your client will be seen. Your client won't see you as a professional. All right? Now, these are the illustrations of what I'm talking about in clear picture. Now, look at these pictures. I brought this here for you to see what I am talking about. The picture by the left is a cake with a sunken center. The center of this cake sank in almost to the bottom of the cake. How would you salvage this cake now? How would you really save this cake and use it for decoration? How? The cake by the right-hand side has a soggy center. There is too much moisture at the center. Looking at it already, it is not properly baked. It is not properly baked at all. So when your cakes come out like this, it spells nothing but bad news. It spells nothing but bad news. Okay? The next one is burnt. When you have burnt cakes, when your cakes burn, you know the amount of scraping, the amount of cut you would have before you get to the good part of it is bad news. Now, the cake picture by my right-hand side is showing you cakes that baked and the cake rose and rose and rose and boom, it exploded. the dome, the height of this dome is almost like the height of the cake itself. So if this cake was supposed to bake flat topped, it would have achieved a greater height compared to what it has now. And by the time you're trying to level it, that is a huge wastage. You have a lot of cake off cuts before you will get to what you would need to decorate or what you would use. Okay, so when your cakes bake like this, it spells serious bad news. But I tell you, I've been through all these problems. I've encountered them. I've encountered them in the time past and have figured out over the years the solutions to these problems. I've figured out over the years the solutions to these problems. And that is why, if you have been following me on my Instagram page, all my cakes always come out the same. All my cakes always come out the same because I've figured out the solution to baking perfect cakes. I've figured out the solution to always having my cakes bake flat topped, always having my cakes bake beautiful, in a very beautiful way without burning, without coming out dry. My cakes are always moist. Okay, they are flat topped, well baked, and each time I post my pictures, you would think it's the same picture because they always have the same outlook, they always have the same appearance. You can decide right now to rise above spoiled cake syndrome. You can decide to rise above spoiled cake syndrome and badly baked cakes. Because I've never had an incident where a client complained that the cake spoiled. I have never had an incident where my client complains that the cake spoiled. Okay, you can decide to rise above it. You can decide to rise above badly baked cakes. You can decide to start afresh, start from scratch. You can decide to learn cake baking from scratch. Okay, learn how to bake perfectly. Learn how to have perfectly baked cakes. These two pictures on the screen here, if you look at them, they look the same. The one by my right is baked by my student who enrolled in Baking Perfect Cakes online course all the way from Tanzania. And look at the one I baked by the left-hand side. Both cakes look just the same. So it is not a matter of distance anymore. Wherever you are, you can learn and perfect your cake baking skills. You can learn to upgrade your cake baking skills. You can learn to rise above spoiled cake syndromes. You can learn to rise above badly baked cakes. Okay? You can learn to have flat topped cakes all the time. And I am willing to help you. I am willing to teach you. I am willing to teach you all the secrets, all the hacks that I've learned over the years that are giving me this amazing result each time I bake my cakes. That is why I'm offering you this opportunity to join me in Baking Perfect Cakes online course. Okay? I've had a lot of students enroll in this course and they have gotten amazing results. Enrollment has already kicked off. I've had students who went for hands-on classes, physical classes, but they didn't get any results. But by the time they enrolled in this course, they experienced a huge transformation. I would tell you some of these students. The first person here is Miss Bernard. Miss Bernard went for a hands-on class, a physical class, to learn how to bake cakes from scratch. But by the time she finished that class, she felt like she didn't learn anything. Let me read it out for you. She said, I had always desired to bake really great cakes. I took a hands-on class elsewhere, but honestly, I felt like I learned nothing because all the cakes looked plain ugly. Something just didn't seem right. Okay, the cakes were not looking like freshly baked cakes that were baked in her class. And another thing she told me was that the instructor was not using the right terms in teaching them. Okay, let's continue. She said, my cake baking journey with Miriam was a very interesting one. When I enrolled for the cake baking course, a friend of mine saw my cakes and was so impressed because she had previously seen the ones I baked when I took a physical class. Due to the huge change she noticed, she asked how I did it. I simply told her I was taking an online course. Thank you, Miriam, for being such a great teacher. I can't believe such great results from an online course. That is from Miss Bernard. Here we have Pearl. Pearl is from Maiduguri. Okay, Pearl resides in Maiduguri, and the weather in Maiduguri is always hot and dry and windy. And here it has been affecting the texture of her cake. She's always having dry cakes, always having, dry and crumbly cakes that are not moist. And here she says, I have always desired to learn how to bake cakes from scratch and also how to have super moist cakes always. Since I took Miriam's cake baking course, I have experienced so much transformation. Now my cakes are always moist and fluffy. The taste of the classic carrot cake is superb. So far, business has been great with lush cakes. Thank you, Miriam, for the knowledge, support, enlightenment, and encouragement. Okay. Previously, her clients were complaining about the texture of her cake, but now they are enjoying the transformation that she has experienced, the kind of cake she's delivering now. And she is making progress in her cake business. These are the things you are going to experience. Positive transformation, positive changes. Okay? You would rise from having badly baked cakes that spoil before their time, to having awesome, great tasting, fluffy, flat-topped cakes that your clients would always thank you, okay, for delivering to them great cakes that your clients will always be happy with each time you deliver a cake to them. Here we have Gabrielle. Gabrielle says, I really want to appreciate you, Miriam. You are exceptional. Your teachings are made so simple, and you take time to explain things very well. The classic red velvet cake is so moist and nice. The vanilla cream cake is not like every other vanilla cake. It is divine. Thank you, Miriam. You are well represented wherever I go. By my right here, I have feedback from Pakui. Pakui says, I couldn't stop admiring my vanilla cream cake. It was so perfectly baked with no cracks. Okay, this was somebody that was having issues with achieving flat top cakes and having issues with cracked cakes. Now she has baked following the procedure in this online course, and she's getting cakes without cracks, cakes that are flat topped. She said the cakes are perfectly baked with no cracks, flat topped, and so yummy. The strawberry cake is a perfect balance of ingredients. The rich fruit cake is the bomb. The first time I tried baking fruit cake, it came out burnt and dry. But with the method used in this course, my rich fruit cake came out moist and well baked. Thank you, Miriam. You are the best. She has baked a fruit cake in the past before enrolling in this course, and it was dry, it was burnt. But I showed her a method, the method we used in this online course, and the cake baked perfectly, flat topped. It wasn't dry, it still maintained its moisture. I am telling you, by the time you enroll in this course, it will be a huge transformation. It will be a change. You really wouldn't need to go for another baking course, except you just need extra more recipes. But with the recipes you're going to receive in this course, it is a good start for you. So what is this course about? Baking Perfect Cake online course is an online course that would help you avoid cake baking pitfalls and bake wonderful cakes easily and always. It is a course that will introduce you to the world of cake baking with a step-by-step guide from the varieties of ingredients used to their functions, terminologies and techniques involved in cake baking, to the actual baking of 12 luscious cakes. You will be having 12 cake recipes. You'll be learning how to bake 12 cake recipes. You wouldn't just sit and watch how it is baked. You would learn from the scratch. You would learn about the ingredients, how these ingredients function, what happens in the oven, how these ingredients combine with each other to bring a great result. You would learn about the terminologies used in cake baking. You would equally learn about the techniques that are used in cake baking. And you would see how I apply these techniques in baking the different recipes you would learn about in this online course. Okay, what are you going to learn? You would learn the do's and don'ts in cake baking to help you avoid cake baking pitfalls, because there are things you do not know and you are still making the same mistake over and over again, and you are getting bad results. But by the time you come on board this course, I will teach you the do's and don'ts, the secrets, the hacks that will help you avoid cake baking pitfall. There is a particular lesson that is dedicated to cake baking pitfall, the causes, how to avoid it, how to rise above it, and the solutions to them when they occur. Okay, now you would equally learn about how to bake with butter, how to bake with margarine, how to bake with oil, and how to bake with egg white. You would also learn 4 different techniques in cake baking. Okay, maybe you've just been baking with margarine and you call it butter. You don't even know the difference between butter and margarine. Okay, I told someone one time that I am going to bake a cake with oil, and the person was surprised. Oil? How? You know, so if you have not had the opportunity to bake with all these items, this is an opportunity for you to key in and learn how to do all this, so that you don't, appear as a novice when you are in a place where these kind of things are discussed. Okay, or when a client comes to you and say, please, I need an egg with so and so method. There are some clients that know what they need. They will tell you exactly what they need. And if you don't know how to bake such cakes, you start running helter-skelter, going to Facebook groups to ask, please, I need this recipe and it's urgent. You will start practicing with a client's order. Why not learn how to do it now? Perfect in it. Then when the orders start rolling in, you start making your money. You will also learn how to bake light, fluffy, delicious, and moist cakes. If you have been struggling with awful tasting cakes, your cakes don't really taste great. It's just sweet because it contains sugar. If your cakes are not always moist, if you struggle with dry cakes, cakes that are not fluffy, hard cakes, all my recipes are awesome. They are amazing. My students are giving great feedback. Even those that bought the recipe, that didn't even enroll in the course, are still releasing great feedback concerning these recipes. Okay, so you are going to get the best from this course. You will learn how to bake sweet cakes and savory cakes. You will learn how to bake like a professional. You will learn how to achieve flat top cakes and avoid cake wastage. You will learn how to bake super fluffy cupcakes, how to prepare a cake prior to decoration. You will learn how to easily crumb coat, fill, and decorate a cake using buttercream. You would equally learn how to prepare American buttercream and a lot more. All right. Now let's go over this testimonial from some of my students. The first one is from Ijoma, and she says, "Thank you so much for teaching us without holding anything back. Not all teachers are good teachers. I just wish we could meet in person because you have impacted on my life so much. Thank you once again." That is one thing with me. When I'm teaching you, I teach you everything I know without holding anything back. I teach you all the secrets. I teach you what will make you move forward. I teach you what will help you grow your business. Okay? So it's not everybody that would give you a recipe and give you their secret ingredient. But when you get my recipe, you get everything. Nothing is held back. When I'm teaching you, you are receiving lessons. You are receiving follow-up. You are receiving monitoring. Okay? That would help you in your cake business. And this is just an evidence of it from Ijoma. Now, this one is from Edorogo. She says, "Good day, ma'am. I'm not a commercial cake baker. I love cakes and bake only for my family when an occasion calls for a cake. I am still on the lessons because I am so busy throughout the week, but I find time sometimes to take the lessons. You are a very good teacher, and I like the way you are spreading the great knowledge and research you have with others. Thank you for the knowledge. You have given my cake more taste and spice. It's been fun following your instructions and getting great results." So whether you are in business already, or you are starting out from home, you are still trying cake baking in your house, this course is going to benefit you, because Even if you have a 9-to-5 job, even if you are very, very busy, this course will benefit you. You can see the testimonial from Edo already. She takes her lessons through over the weekend. She is busy throughout the week. So over the weekend, she takes her lessons. This is because the duration for this course is 2 months, is 8 weeks, to give you ample time to relax and take the lessons at your own pace. Okay, you take the lessons at your own pace. Nobody is rushing you. It is not like a 2-day course or a 3-day course that you will just rush over the lessons and that is the end of it. No, you have 2 months access time to take your lessons at your own convenience. Okay, so that you can have time to practice it over and over again and send in your feedback. Let's continue. So what will you get when you enroll in this course? You would get 7 detailed modules. You would have 9 audiovisual lessons to take to get you started. You would have 13 HD video lessons to guide you in the cake baking process. Now, there is a difference between the audiovisual lessons and the video lessons. By the time you come on board this course, you wouldn't just come on board the course and start baking. You start the baking procedure immediately. You would have to start from the foundation. Like I told you, you will learn about the ingredients, how they function. You will learn about cake baking pitfalls, how to avoid cake baking pitfalls. You will learn a lot. And I dedicated 9 audiovisual lessons for the foundation of cake baking before you will now get into the 13 video lessons to guide you in cake baking. This is how detailed this course is. You would also get 2 HD video lessons on basic buttercream cake decoration method. These are the bonuses. You would learn, if you don't know how to make buttercream, this is an opportunity for you to learn how to make buttercream, American buttercream. Okay? You will get a downloadable recipe of this buttercream. You would equally have downloadable recipe guides. All the recipes for your cakes, they are downloadable. So you can download them for reference purposes. Like I said, you will have 2 months, anytime, any day access to your course content. So you can access your course content anytime, any day over the weekend, whether it's midnight or during the day, you have access to your course content for 2 months. All right? These are the downloadable cake recipes, the 12 awesome cake recipes that are available for you to learn in this course. We have vanilla cream cake. This recipe is the one that is giving me the highest rave, okay, from my students, from my clients who purchase from the recipe hub. Equally, you would get classic, would equally get classic strawberry cake. It is not just, you know, adding pink color to your batter and you say it's strawberry. You would learn how to bake the real strawberry cake. You learn how to bake classic coconut cake. I had a student of mine who after baking this recipe, the particular day, the first day she baked with this recipe, she got 5 cake orders immediately. 5 cake orders for classic coconut cake. You would also learn how to bake rich chocolate cake. You will learn how to bake classic carrot cake. One of my students baked with this recipe, and she delivered it to her client, who told her, gave her a feedback that this classic carrot cake is a rich man's cake, considering the ingredients, considering the taste and the flavor in this cake. You would also learn how to bake chocolate marble cake. You will learn how to bake rich fruit cake. You'd also learn how to bake oil-based chocolate cupcake and super fluffy vanilla cupcake. These recipes here, some of them are baked with butter, some of them are baked with margarine, some are baked with oil, and in some, you would have a combination of egg white, okay? Now, these are the things you are going to learn and equally download, all right? So here are the general bonuses. Apart from these general bonuses, there are special bonus offer, okay? For anybody who enrolls in this course, you will get all this bonus that I'm going to talk about on this particular slide. You would have a private Facebook group for discussion. You'll be added to this private Facebook discussion and support group to track your progress, because there is no how you will just enroll in a course and I am not following you up. I am not monitoring what you are doing. I am not checking and assessing your work. I would have to assess your work and grade what you have done to make sure you are getting it right. So it is in this Facebook group that I will be tracking your progress. We would have question and answer session for more learning opportunities. You would also have a lifetime membership in this Facebook group to ask all your questions relating to the course and also for follow-up. It is in this group that you would send in picture results of what you have done, okay, for me to look at it and assess what you have done, okay? You'll be carrying on with your practicals and sending in the pictures in the Facebook support group. You would have direct access to me as your instructor in the Facebook group for mentorship in line with the course curriculum. You will learn how to prepare American buttercream plus free downloadable buttercream recipe. You will learn how to prep a cake before decoration. You will learn how to crumb coat a cake properly. You will learn how to cover and decorate a cake using buttercream. You would equally learn how to apply chocolate drip on a cake. So how does it work when you enroll in this course? You will be given access to our online school to log into your course curriculum. Each student would have a personal dashboard in our online school. So by the time you enroll, you will be given access to our online school to access your personal dashboard and log into your course curriculum anytime you want. Nobody is going to stop you, okay? So immediately you enroll, you will be given access, immediate access to your course curriculum to start your lessons. You watch your audiovisual and video lessons and download your recipe guides. You bake your cakes at your convenience. You can decide to be baking your cakes over the weekend. There is no specific time for you to bake your cake and submit. So you take your lessons at your own pace, but within the 2 months duration of the course. You bake your cakes at your convenience. Take a snapshot of your baked cake when it is out of the oven and send a picture to our private Facebook group for assessment and further discussion. Now, if you have passion for cake baking, but you don't have any idea of how to bake, this course is for you. If you really want to start a cake business and you want to know how to bake cakes the right way, you want to know how to avoid cake baking mistakes, you want to know how to avoid cake baking pitfalls, you want to know how to deliver cakes that would not spoil, you want to know how to deliver cakes that your clients will always be happy about, this course is for you. And you don't know how to bake cakes, you want to learn, this course is for you. If you seriously need to learn how to bake cakes from scratch, but you have a 9-to-5 job, maybe you want to start a side business, a side cake business, and you still have a 9-to-5 job, your work schedule is tight. So you need a course that would allow you learn in the comfort of your home at your own pace. No rush, no missed classes, no missed lectures. This course is for you because the lessons are structured in such a way that even if you stop in lesson A now, or you stop midway, you didn't finish it, by the time you come back, you still start from where you stopped. You can rewind the lesson, you can fast forward the lesson, you can replay the lessons, okay? So you can take it at your own pace. If you have a little knowledge about cake baking, but you are zealous to know more about the types and categories of cakes, how cakes are categorized, the baking techniques and terminologies, this lesson, this course is for you. If you know how to bake, but you have just one cake recipe and it is giving you headache that you just have one cake recipe, you really need to have more. This course is for you because you are going to get 12 and even more if you take advantage of the early bird offer that I'm going to announce now. Okay? If you encounter problems each time you bake a cake, so you need to learn the proper way to bake in order to avoid cake baking pitfalls. This course is for you. If you want to learn how to bake cakes from scratch and not from a box mix, this course is for you. If you plan to start a cake baking business in the future and you are willing to learn a new skill, this course is definitely for you. Let me tell you something. After taking this course, you will be operating at another level. You will be wondering, you might be wondering, how much is this course? How much is this course? Don't worry. I would announce the price. I would announce the early bird offer and make sure you take it as fast as you can. Because after taking this course, you will be operating at another level. You'll be experiencing a change, a positive transformation. You would know the techniques involved in baking different types of cakes. You would know the different categories of cakes. You would know how to bake 12 luscious types of cakes. You would know how to avoid or tackle cake baking problems. You would bake like a professional. You will bake your perfect cakes all the time. You wouldn't need to be running helter-skelter each time you need a recipe. You wouldn't need to be asking somebody, how do I do this? You will make money selling your perfectly baked cakes. And that's the fact. I'm telling you the fact. You would get calls from people who have tasted your cakes and wanted to order more. That is the fact. I have students who are experiencing this already. You will kickstart your own cake baking business. When I told you you will make money selling your perfectly baked cakes, I wasn't joking. I wasn't kidding at all. Here is the case with Uche, who enrolled in Baking Perfect Cakes online course in February this year, 2019. Okay, Uche enrolled in this course and she had a cake order while still taking this course. She was fidgeting. She didn't know what to do. I advised her to calm down. I gave her directives on what to do and how to go about it. Okay, she didn't know the size to use, considering the amount. The client ordered a cake for 7,000 naira. And if you're looking at the picture in the left-hand side, you can see that it's already a buttercream cake with chocolate drip, which is part of what you're going to learn in this course. So after baking the red velvet cake and decorating it, she delivered this cake to the client. Guess what happened? When the client tasted the cake, the client ordered cupcake. She ordered a dozen cupcake. Okay, the client ordered cupcakes from her. As if that wasn't enough, when the client now, it's nothing, well, it wasn't as if the cupcakes were for any party. The main cake that was for a celebration was the buttercream cake. And the client, after tasting it, ordered just cupcakes to enjoy. So a friend of this client of hers tasted the cupcake and immediately ordered 250 cupcakes from Uche. Imagine the transformation from 7,000 naira buttercream cake to 250 cupcakes. From 7,000 naira buttercream cake to 250 cupcake orders. Just from one recipe. I'm telling you the fact, you would make money selling your perfectly baked cakes as long as you have these amazing recipes I'm going to offer you in Baking Perfect Cakes online course. Okay? The transformation you'll be experiencing will be from pitfalls to perfect, because you'll no longer be experiencing cake baking pitfalls. You'll no longer be having sunken center, your cakes with sunken center, or your cakes with soggy center, because your cakes will bake perfectly well. You will be experiencing the transformation from a highly domed cake to a flat topped cake in such a way that you don't even need to level off the top. You just scrape off the sticky top and you have a level cake. Because your cake will be flat topped, you will learn how to bake flat topped cakes. Okay, look at this practical submitted by my student. Okay, and here she said, I am so overjoyed. The flat tops of these cakes are giving me so much joy. That is the transformation that I am talking about. Your cakes will transform from being soggy at the center to being well baked. That's another result. These are some other results from my student. Here, after baking when she baked with red velvet, she thought it was her favorite. By the time she baked with the classic carrot cake, she said, I have found my best recipe. And here, the cake by the right hand side is a chocolate cake baked by one of my students, Edo. Okay, now these are the results you'll be getting. You wouldn't have cakes that the face will be squeezed every time you bring it out of the oven. The face will just be squeezed anyhow. You will have a cake with smooth top, flat top, and perfectly baked with awesome tastes. Now, some more results from my students. By the left-hand side, you see banana bread here that Ijoma is already selling. Okay, these are part of the recipes you would get for free when you enroll in this course. Aside the 12 recipes you would get, if you take advantage of this early bird bonus offer, you would get 2 extra banana bread recipe. And look at it, let me tell you, if you are not delivering decorated cakes, if you're not having orders of celebration cakes, you can make this banana bread in small portions and sell them. You can be selling them every week. These are things that will be bringing you money. These are recipes that I've put together. I've taken time to develop, tested it, and clients are rushing this. So if I give you something for free, it is not like it is worthless. This recipe is worth 10,000 naira, and I sell it at the Recipe Hub where I sell my recipes, and bakers are actually buying it. But I'm offering it to you for free. By the time you enroll in this course, it will be a recipe you get for free. So if you don't have decorated cakes to deliver, you can be selling this every week. The one by my right hand side is red velvet cake, developed baked by Tanya, and she is selling it in smaller portions. So you really don't have to wait for the big shots. These are the things that will help you make money in your cake business. So let's talk about the price, okay? What is this course worth? What is Baking Perfect Cakes online course worth? This course in its totality, with all the work and logistics put into develop it, is worth above 1 million naira. For all the work, for all the time I took, to develop the recipes, to put the video lessons together, to put all the recipes together, it is worth above 1 million naira. But I am not going to charge this, because you're just going to pay a little percentage of it, okay? If you miss the early bird bonus offer that I'm going to announce now, you would have to end up paying the full price, which is 50,000 naira, equivalent of 139 US dollars, okay? But take advantage of the early bird bonus. Do not miss it. It is in stages. We have the stage 1. The stage 1 early bird bonus offer has a duration of 24 hours. So between now and 24 hours, if you are taking advantage of this offer, you'll be getting 20% discount off the full price, and you will have to pay only 40,000 naira, equivalent of 110 US dollars. Only 40,000 naira. Now, you would also win a scholarship to take up my cake pricing online course, which is profitable cake pricing, worth 15,000 naira. Don't make the mistake of missing this offer. I had a student in the last batch who enrolled for Baking Perfect Cake online course. She missed the early bird offer. She actually had the time to pay, but she was still contemplating whether to pay or not. Later, she paid for the course, and she has already missed the scholarship offer. Do you know that she came back and still paid for profitable cake pricing online course? Because she knows what she will be missing. In profitable cake pricing course, you will learn how to price your cakes to profit. You will learn how to set your prices according to the recipes you have. You will learn how to set your prices according to the sizes of your cakes. You would learn how to develop a price list. You would learn how to market. You would learn how to market your cakes, the different ways you can market your cakes. You will learn marketing. You would equally learn how to conduct a cake consultation, how to discuss with a prospective client in order to convert that client to a buying client. This course is worth 15,000 naira. But if you take advantage of this early bird offer now, you will be getting this course as a scholarship. Also, you will get 2 of my special banana bread recipes for free. Each of this recipe is worth 10,000 naira. You will get coconut banana bread and chocolate banana bread recipe. Okay, so this is the online course, and here we have a feedback, a testimonial from a student who has taken profitable cake pricing online course. She says, profitable cake pricing online course changed my entire baking life. It taught me so many things I didn't know about cake pricing. Before taking this course, I was just doing charity with my business. The real business started after taking this course. I can't thank you enough, Miriam, for opening my eyes to so many things I took for granted. Okay, she was taking her business as charity, but after going through these lessons, her eyes opened, and now she is doing the real business. Okay, now I have another student who took the course, Profitable Cake Pricing. She says, I am so happy that I cannot even measure my happiness because the last 2 jobs I got, the clients paid me 12,000 naira each. I have never earned such amount from cakes before. The highest I have ever gotten is 5,000 naira. I am saying a big thank you to you. God bless you. This is from Tolua. The third one is from Elizabeth, who says, I have been using the cake pricing worksheet from Profitable Cake Pricing online course to set my prices right. And my clients are gradually adapting to the new price list. Thank you, ma'am. So if you are scared of increasing your price or what your clients will say, take this course and get a bonus, and get this Profitable Cake Pricing online course as a scholarship to help your cake business. These are the special recipes you'll be getting if you enroll in this course, and it will help your business grow. Stage 2 early bird bonus offer has a duration of 48 hours. If you enroll within 48 hours, if you have missed stage 1, you will still get 20% discount off the full price and pay only 40,000 naira. You would also win a scholarship to take up my cake pricing online course, Profitable Cake Pricing online course, but you wouldn't be getting the free recipes. For stage 3 early bird bonus offer, which is within 72 hours, you would get 20% discount off the full price and pay 40,000 naira. You would also get one of my banana bread recipes. You would get coconut banana bread recipe, but you wouldn't be getting chocolate banana bread recipe, and you wouldn't be winning the scholarship. Okay, so take advantage of the stage 1 and enroll now. If you miss stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, you can still get the early bird bonus offer. Okay, the stage 4 bonus offer is till the end of this early bird period. Till the end of this early bird period, you would get 20% discount off the full price. That is the only thing you're going to get, and you will pay 40,000 naira, but you will be missing the cake pricing online course scholarship opportunity. You'll be missing the special banana bread recipes, but you will still get the general bonuses I announced earlier on. All right, the enrollment procedure is for you to make your payment. If you are in Nigeria, make your payment to the account details showing on the screen. Okay, 0071359497, Access Bank, the former Diamond Bank, with the account name Bake and Beat. Step 2, when you have finished making your payment, send a mail to bakeandbeat15@gmail.com. The mail should contain your full name, phone number, and attached evidence of payment. Step 3 is your login. At the reception of your mail and confirmation of your payment, a link to the online school will be sent to you, and you will be granted access to your course curriculum immediately. When your payment is confirmed, you will get a link to the online school to access your personal student dashboard so that you start taking your courses, your lessons immediately. When the early bird offer period expires, the price increases. It will no longer be 40,000 naira. You will be getting it at 50,000 naira. Do not miss the early bird bonuses. Do not miss the early bird bonuses. I have had students who missed early bird bonuses and they still paid full price in the last batch. Do not be those that are going to pay the full price. Make sure you grab these early bird bonuses now that they are available. We also have 2 installment payment plan. If you want to go for that, you can make your payment into installment, but it attracts extra charges, okay, because it is delayed payment. The first installment of 27,500 will be made before enrollment into the course. After 4 weeks of enrollment, the second installment of 27,500 will be made. Okay, so you make the first payment before enrollment. After 4 weeks, you make the second payment. Note, for installment plan, you get access to half of the lessons in the course curriculum. When you complete your payment, you'll be granted access to the rest of the course curriculum. For international students, I will be sending a mail right immediately after this class, and the mail will contain the link to the full details of this online course. On that page, by the time you click on the link, a page will open. You would have a payment link that will say pay online. That link takes every currency, all currencies of the world. So you can click on that red button and make your payment using your debit card or your Visa card or your payment card, okay? Whichever one you are using, it accepts all payment through wherever you are, from any country. It takes payment from all countries of the world, okay? It accepts all currencies. However, you can still send a mail right now to bakeandbase15@gmail.com so that an appropriate payment platform can be forwarded to you. So you can send a mail right now and I'll forward you the link straight to your inbox for you to make payment. Okay? So remember to check your mail. Remember to check your mail. Shortly, like I said, you'll be sent a mail containing the link to the enrollment details for Baking Perfect Cakes online course. And you can quickly click on that link and use our online payment platform, which accepts all currencies from all over the world. All you need to do is put your name, your email address, the amount. You just put 40,000 naira, just put the Nigerian currency. It will deduct it and then give you the equivalence in your own currency. Okay, so you don't need to do the conversion. Just input your card details and the amount will be deducted from your card. Okay, so that is that. Make sure you check your mail for further details. I am sure you learned a lot from this class. I am sure you learned a whole lot and you have taken notes. Please make sure you share what you have learned on your Instagram page or your Insta stories and mention a Bake and Bake so that I will know that you attended this class. Do you have questions? Do you have comments or you have inquiries regarding the online course? Please send me a DM on Instagram or send a mail right now to bakeandbase15@gmail.com. I am ready and willing to respond to all your mails, okay? All right, all right, all right, all right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much. And I'm sure you learned a lot from this class, okay? Make sure you take advantage of the early bird bonus offer. Do not miss it. And be expecting my mails in your inbox. Have a wonderful day. Bye.